When we carefully look at this universe, we see beings going to one another for help. Cells depend on atoms. Organs depend on cells. The body relies on its organs. Plants and animals depend on clouds, and people rely on animals. Everything goes to another for help and completes another's task. However, before one can help another, the one helping must have will and should be able to decide whether or not to help. Alongside will, there has to be power. If one does not have power, then he or she cannot help. In addition, the person helping must have the knowledge to understand the one in need, must be able to hear and see the one in need, have a conscience to feel the other's needs, and dozens of other such qualities. However, creatures that run to help each other do not have qualities like free will, power, and the abilities to see and hear. In fact, a portion of them does not have lives. In that case, these creatures cannot do any helping on their own. It shows that there is, and has to be, an entity behind the curtains who directs the helping. If we were to separate all living beings to one side, then a lifeless, unconscious, will-less, and powerless group would remain. Like in the example of the powerful helping the weak, and the rich aiding the poor in this instance, it would be necessary for those who are living to help those that are lifeless. However, the reality is just the opposite, because those that are lifeless are helping living beings. Since it is impossible for non-living and will-less things to help on their own, it shows that they are all servants and they act upon God's orders. For example, clouds will hurry to help the inhabitants of the earth by watering them. From this situation, we must accept one out of the following three premises. 1. Clouds know humans, animals, and plants, and they pour water out of their compassion for them. And of course, in order to do such a thing, clouds must have qualities like life, free will, power, and knowledge. 2. The human's power compels clouds to rain. The human will command a cloud to rain, and the cloud will rain. These two explanations are not acceptable, and a person who has not lost his mind would not choose either of these options. In that case, the following is the only viable option. 3. Clouds are the servants of God, and with His command, they water the inhabitants of the earth. God is both the creator of the rain and the one who shows compassion to the planet's inhabitants. Just as clouds are in a hurry to help the earth, so too do all commodities rush to help one another. It is not possible for unconscious, lifeless, will-less, powerless creatures that have no knowledge to help one another with compassion. Their inability to independently help proves that there is an entity behind the curtain who is directing creatures to help one another. We cannot finish counting examples of the visible cooperation that takes place in our universe. We will only provide an example for the purpose of exemplifying and ask the person who dares to deny God a few questions. A root has two duties. One of them is to hold a tree in place, and the other is to receive elements that the tree needs from the soil. However, the roots of trees with spiky leaves, like juniper and pine, are unable to receive elements from the soil since they grow in acidic areas. As the tree is suffering under this condition, a mushroom grows at its root. The mushroom prepares and presents the elements that are necessary for the tree. To reciprocate the mushroom's kindness, the tree gives a portion of the sugar that it produces to the mushroom. If you still do not accept the reality that God is responsible for this exchange of help, then provide answers to the following questions. 1. How does the mushroom understand this tree's predicament? Of course, it is not possible for the mushroom to know it. However, in order to know, one must have knowledge, whereas a mushroom has none. Do you claim that this mushroom, which has no concept of its own existence, is as knowledgeable as Avicenna? In fact, even Avicenna would not be able to do such a thing. 2. Let us suppose that the mushroom has knowledge and knows about the tree's difficulty. However, helping the tree is a mark of compassion, whereas the mushroom does not have any compassion. Do you think that the mushroom has endless mercy? Three. Now let us suppose that the mushroom has both knowledge and compassion. How is the mushroom able to do the work that the tree roots are unable to accomplish, and how is the mushroom able to produce the elements that the tree needs? Or do you accept that the mushroom has endless potency? 4. Firstly, how does the mushroom know which elements the tree needs? At which school did this mushroom study botany? For example, do you know which elements a tree needs? If you do not know, then is the mushroom smarter than you? 5. Is it an act of gratitude when the tree produces sugar and offers a portion of it to the mushroom? Is the tree so dignified that it just cannot leave an act of kindness unrequited? We can ask dozens of other similar questions. We have probably understood by now that the one who denies God will be obliged to accept many delusions.